I know there can be a lot of anxiety around not knowing, and hopefully today I can offer you some tips that will help in those uncomfortable situations where you feel like you should know some information, but you don't know it. When I was younger, I probably would shy away from admitting to some of my knowledge deficits in certain jobs until I was in nursing. And a lot of my nursing career was spent in fast-paced environments where patients were critically ill, so in the emergency, ICU, cardiac ICU, and it's actually dangerous to pretend that you know something when you don't, and you have to very quickly say, I'm not sure, or I'm not comfortable doing this skill, I'll trade you and I'll do that skill, or I haven't done this before, and then the doctor can show you how to do it, or whatever it is. You had to admit very quickly what you knew and what you didn't know, or what you were comfortable with and what you were uncomfortable with. So I'm glad that I had that teaching, and I am trying to boldly apply it to every aspect of my life. So when you don't admit to exactly where you're at, people can't meet you with what you need. For example, I don't know if I'm alone, but I've been to seminars where the entire audience was sitting there and trying to keep up with a lecture that was totally beyond what we needed. And if we had had the opportunity to say, actually, our learning is here, can you start at the basics? We all would have benefited. So it ended up being a waste of time, both for the presenter, who I'm sure could have made it more basic, and for us. So when you tell people what your needs are, they can meet you where you're at. It saves everybody time, and I believe it builds a lot of trust. Especially, I know in nursing, if I ever have students that aren't honest about what they don't know, I get nervous, again, because of the safety and everything, and it just doesn't have like trust in that relationship. And I'm sure my patients feel the same. If I pretended I knew something when I really didn't, and they picked up on that, I'm sure that would affect the level of trust that they have in me. So it builds trust. And a couple of examples, like I was on the phone today and an accountant was asking me for banking information, and I literally had no idea what they were asking for. So I just said that, like, I'm sorry, I don't even know what you're asking me for. And then they were able to walk me through the situation, and we were able to get the outcome that we wanted. Another example is, I'll get back to that. So I wanted to say, if you're embarrassed, because I know it can feel uncomfortable saying you don't know something, you can explain yourself if you feel like you need to. You can say, I don't know. I've never come across this exact situation before. Or, I don't know. It's been a while since I came across a similar situation, and I can't remember how we approached that. Again, I just wanted to go back to trust. So my other example was, I had a patient recently that came in with strep throat. It was very obviously strep throat. And the way that I could explain myself and my not knowing was by adding what I do know. So you can try this in situations. So in that situation, I said, I know that you have strep throat, and I know I have to put you on antibiotics for a variety of reasons that we talked through. But because of your allergies, I'm not sure what the best antibiotic is, so I need to look at a resource before I get back to you. That builds trust. People are okay if you need to step away and look something up. There's resources and guidelines for new nurse practitioners. I just created a Facebook group where you could just ask questions in a safe environment. There's often like specialists or whatever it is in life, there's probably somebody who's gone through it before you. And really the other people don't expect you often to be a specialist in whatever it is. Like the accountant, the fact that I didn't know the specific information that he was looking for, that was okay because I'm not an experienced accountant. So I hope that gives you just a couple tools that you can use in those uncomfortable situations when you're feeling like, I should know this information, but I don't know this information. If you want, you can add on here's why. We'll save everybody time and effort. We'll get build trust, and hopefully it will propel you faster towards the goals that you're working towards.